Well, you're loud and clear, Christy, and so is Danny. But I'll put it back in mute again.
Kevin, they can hear us, but we can't hear them. So
Okay.
Christy, can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Oh. Okay, thank you. Chris, we can hear them now, but we can't see them. You can see them on your screen. Excellent. As long as they can hear us, we can hear them. Oh, there we go. You should be good. Oh, all right, so we're all ready?
Okay.
And we're on YouTube as well, all right? Excellent. Look at the go.
it is a little echoey. I'm not sure of the owl placement, but I'm finding it a little echoey.
Be the room. I'll take just say. Oh, come on, we're all doing.
Especially you,
Welcome,
seem to be
everybody.
especially echoey.
Who, me? Okay, well, you'll get to hear us over and over again. Well, we'll call the meeting to order. This is our meeting number 107, May 31st, 2023. Welcome, everybody. To those of us joining virtual online, and to all the general public who lined up to watch us here tonight. Thank you for attending. I'd like to just start the meeting actually with our to talk about Deputy Mayor Nicole and to young Pearl, and just pass along our thoughts and prayers to her as she recovers from a very serious accident last week. And I know everybody around the table would know Nicole, or would come across her at some point in time, and over their terms as council. So again, I think on behalf of the Regional Service Board, we wish her well and hope for a speedy recovery. And after that, something more, I guess, positive. I'd like to say congratulations to Deputy Mayor Sheila O'Leary and Councillor Larry Biggers for being elected to the FCN, Federation of Canadian Municipalities. That's awesome news. Congratulations. On behalf of the board. It's a great privilege to be on that board. I've never had the opportunity to serve there, but I know it's an awesome organization. Most people around the table have been at the meetings for years, and they I'm sure you'll be bringing back a wealth of knowledge from your basically it's a 4-year term.
No, it's just 1 year.
1 year term. Okay. I know your previous predecessor, Councillor Lewis, was there for a long time. You have big shoes to fill, so you'll be up to the task. I'd like to take an opportunity to welcome a couple of mayors from the region as well. Thank you for coming out. Mayor Costello and Mayor Lawler and Mayor Malloy and Deputy Mayor Rudy and Councillor Henry. Yeah, okay. And we have a councillor from April. Yes. O'Brien. Andrew O'Brien. Welcome to the meeting. Thank you for coming out. And I'd also like to take a second to thank Councillor Nathan Ryan, who's on our board, for setting this up now. Probably with the arrangements here. It's an awesome deal. Thank you to the staff, wherever you guys are. I'll get you in. There's someone. And take a second to thank you for dragging the iceberg in. The people on the team yeah, we'll also put up. Yes, I'm mad most of us probably did if we had time, but I was running late, so I didn't get a chance. But I was saying to Nathan there at supper, it's what an awesome drive coming up here this evening with beautiful sunshine, and just like I haven't been up in a few years, and I said I got to get back up here out more often. This is quite the scenic scenery, and we're here in the beautiful town of Ferryland, in case anybody's wondering. So anyway, thank you, mayors and deputy mayors and councillors for coming in. And with that, we'll begin the meeting. So adoption of the agenda, so moved. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Okay, thank you. Review of the minutes from April 26, 2023. Any errors or omissions noticed? I'll give everybody a second. It was a very long So the agenda tonight, the minutes from last week work. So do you want to take a second to read through them? So with that, be it so resolved that the minutes of meetings of April 26th be adopted as presented. So moved. Second by Mayor Ferryland. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Carried. Thank you very much. Tonight we have committee reports. The Finance and Audit Committee, committee chair is Councilor. He's not available here tonight, so in his place, we have Mayor Hewitts. Mayor Rodley, and big task.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Getting right to business, we'll go right to agenda item 4A1, board expenditures report, check register and payroll summary. The board expenditures for the month of April were tabled for review in the committee. No issues or concerns were noted. Would anybody have any questions for staff on that? There being no questions, Mr. Chair, will make a motion that be it resolved that the board adopt the expenditures for the month of April 2023 as tabled.
Moved by Rod, second by David. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Carried. Thank you.
On to the second item, agenda item 4A2, Incorporated Towns Payment Activity Report. Dated for May the 9th, 2023 was tabled for review. Staff noted that they were again pleased with this month's report. The one town that had been substantially behind made a payment on the account and planned to make further payments to bring the account current. There were no questions or concerns. Any questions for staff? Okay, so that was just an information share, and I'll move on to the next agenda item.
No, I would like to say before we go, good job, Craig, and getting that up to date there. I know there was a couple that were struggling getting money in, but you managed to do a good job of getting them up back up to speed again. So thank you for that.
The last item, agenda item 4A3, and it's the awarding of the supply of high-capacity compaction trailer for the Clarenville Transfer Station. There is a briefing note included in the meeting package for members' review. A short discussion took place and the committee agreed that the contract to supply one high-capacity compaction trailer be awarded to NextGen. Any questions for staff? And there being no questions, Mr. Chair, we'll go right to the motion. Be it resolved that the board awards supply of one high-capacity compaction trailer contract to NextGen Municipal Incorporated for the value of $292,229 plus HST.
Moved by Councilor Mayor Delaney, second by Dr. Biggers. All those in favor? Aye. Contrary? Carried.
That's everything, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the effort there. Next up, we have Strategy and Policy Committee. Councilor Gerard Tilly from the Town Perception Base Up is the committee chair and deliver the report. Councilor Tilly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Following is recommendations and regional reports from our Strategy and Policy Committee meeting number 83 held on May 18th, 2023. Agenda item 4B1, permanent closure of the Sunnyside Waste Recovery Facility. A brief note is included in tonight's meeting package for members' information. Please note that the discussion at the committee meeting was for staff to begin the process for permanent closure of the Sunnyside Waste Recovery Facility. This recommendation is based on low usage, high cost of snow clearing and maintenance, and the proximity of the site to the other waste recovery facilities. The decision to locate a waste recovery facility at Sunnyside was made before the opening of the Clarenville and Whitburn facilities. When the board determined where to locate these facilities, it was decided that the public should not have to travel more than 100 kilometers to dispose of their bulk waste. The Sunnyside Waste Recovery Facility is located 22 kilometers from the Clarenville facility. Therefore, residents in the area are well within the travel distance deemed acceptable. Historically, this facility had low usage, especially during the winter. Before the Clarenville facility opened, Sunnyside facility would have about 60 to 74 visits per month from January through March. Since 2018, the facility has been closed in each successive winter. During the winter of 2018, the last time that the facility remained open over the winter, the high cost of snow clearing and low usage resulted in snow clearing costs of about $80 per customer visit. Customer visits averaged one visit every 2 hours. Please note that these costs do not include operations, any operations other than snow clearing. In 2019, the average number of visits equated to 1 visit every 2 hours. For 2022, each customer visit to the Sunnyside facility cost the service board $59.37, despite the facility being closed for the winter. This is not fiscally sustainable or responsible. This is not sustainable or fiscally responsible. The Sunnyside facility sees only 3% of overall customer visits to all waste recovery facilities. For comparison, the Harbour Grace site sees 24% of overall customer visits, and the Whitburn site is at 13% of customer service visits. The Sunnyside facility costs about $75,000 annually to operate. The committee felt that this money could be used to make other waste recovery facilities run better. Just as an example, to ensure compliance with occupational health and safety regulations, these sites require electricity so that the staff huts may be heated. In addition, electricity would facilitate the installation of surveillance cameras and improve the overall security at these facilities. The operation of all waste recovery facilities is a significant annual cost for the board at more than $1.4 million. Please note that these facilities are not paid for by the waste fees collected from our customers, but are funded by regional tipping fees paid at Robin Hood Bay. The committee acknowledged that the provincial government paid the capital cost to develop all the board's waste recovery facilities, and that any decision to close either facility would have to be approved by the minister's office. In addition, the board's certificate of approval to operate these sites requires that a plan outlining the decommissioning be submitted to the Digital Government Service NL. Therefore, the motion for tonight is to begin the process for the permanent closure. Be so resolved that the board begin the process to permanently close Sunnyside Waste Recovery Facility. So moved. Second.
Moved by Councillor Tilly, second by Councillor Clark. Any discussion on that? I heard somebody on the screen there, maybe? No? Okay, all good. I can only see Ian. So the rest are gone blank. Not hearing no discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary? Carried. Thank you.
Second agenda item 4B2 is the first quarter waste operations report. Brief note is included in tonight's meeting package. The report outlined that there were several disruptions to waste collections during the first quarter of 2023 due to harsh weather. Staff continue to track efforts to deal with illegal dumping at the gates of the waste recovery facilities. The Sunnyside, Bell and Cavendish facilities were closed for the entire first quarter due to the high cost of snow clearing and low winter usage at these sites. Our board continues enhanced support of the EPRA's electronics recycling program by not accepting eligible products during bulk collections. Any electronics put out for bulk waste tag and the appropriate sticker indicating the item is recyclable. The Clarendon transfer station continues to operate at capacity. Do you have any questions for staff? Hearing none, we'll move on to the next agenda item 4B3, first quarter wastewater report. A copy of the wastewater operating report for the first quarter is included in our package. The board's wastewater regional operator is currently working with 18 communities throughout the region and continues to provide updates on the program. He is pleased with the first quarter and continues to work with these communities. Any other communities who may be interested in this program should contact our office. Any questions for staff regarding wastewater report? And agenda item 4B4, discussion on bulk waste collection. A brief note is included in our meeting package for tonight. The board continues to receive complaints from communities and individuals regarding bulk collection. The complaints have increased significantly over the past several years. Up to 2018, communities received more than 2 bulk collections annually based on older contracts that provided for more bulk collections prior to the board's waste recovery facilities becoming operational. Depending on the contract, communities received between 2 and 5 bulk collections annually that were scheduled from mid-January through the end of November. When these were occurring prior to 2018, we did not receive complaints regarding the schedule of these events. As older contracts expired, the number of bulk collections were reduced as residents now have access to waste recovery facilities and the residential drop-off at Robin Hood Bay. The waste recovery facilities are located so that residents do not have to travel more than 100 kilometers to access any of these facilities. In addition, reducing the number of bulk collections improved occupational health and safety for the waste collectors, as well as assisting the board to maintain its annual household fee for waste services. Since 2019, all contracts include 2 bulk collections annually. These are scheduled being March and November. Bulk collections always present challenges regarding when they occur and the enforcement of guidelines. Communities and residents have strong feelings on when is it appropriate to hold bulk collections, and these feelings are not consistent. For example, some say bulk collections need to start after the May 24th weekend or before the end of September, while others do not want bulk waste curbside during the summer months. As many of these areas that the board services do not have bylaws regarding unsightly properties, bulk waste that does not meet guidelines can stay curbside indefinitely, and residents blame the board for this situation. It is interesting to note that the Central and Western Regional Service Boards do not offer curbside bulk collections at any time. This year, the board received complaints from many communities regarding their scheduled dates for bulk collection. The town of Holywood actually went so far as to cancel their bulk collection, which was scheduled back in March. Over the past 4 or 5 years, staff have worked with the contractors to rotate the dates for bulk collections so the community does not have their bulk collection in March or April of every year. Those who have bulk collected in March or April this year will be scheduled for May, June, or July next year, and vice versa. Bulk collections vary in communities around the region that are not serviced by the board. Just a few examples: St. John's permits each household to schedule 1 bulk garbage and 1 metal collection a year at no charge, and appointments are necessary. Mount Pearl offers 1 bulk annually each year in May. Torbay offers a free drop-off at Town Depot once a year in May, or residents may schedule 1 curbside pickup in June for $25. No fee for curbside bulk collection is provided. And the city of Corner Brook, they provide 1 bulk collection annually. The discussion at the committee meeting looked at several facts: reducing the number of bulk collections for all contracts to 1 annually, eliminating curb bulk side collections altogether, implementing an appointment system for 1 bulk collection annually, and remove bulk collections from waste contracts and have the board staff provide 1 bulk collection annually. Following discussions of these options at the committee meeting, members did not want to eliminate bulk collection altogether. We felt that implementing an appointment system would require additional administrative staff and therefore would increase the cost of this service. Members felt that doing bulk waste collection internally would require additional staff and waste collection equipment, which would add a significant cost to our service. It is impossible to formulate a solution that will please all communities and residents. Therefore, the committee is recommending that the board reduce the number of bulk collections to 1 annually for all communities in all new waste collection tenders. By reducing the number of bulk collections to 1 annually, the board will be better equipped to schedule the bulk collections when most desirable for the communities. And we'll also maintain the annual household fee for waste services at $200 and improve occupational health and safety for the waste collection crews. If members have concerns regarding this information, please send along an email to our CAO or any of our staff, so this can be brought to the committee's attention. Anyone have any questions?
The 1 year, will that be like when you get to pick when it is, say, fall or spring, or will it just be scheduled for the summer, or will it all be spring or all fall, or is that not decided yet?
It's not decided. But I guess the question, we service 110 plus communities.
Yeah.
So the capacity is always the issue. Yeah.
It's a tough, bulk garbage is a tough one because, I've had calls from Holyrood saying they didn't want it in March. I've had calls from other communities saying they didn't want it in July because it was tourist season. So, trying to, juggle all the different ones that we do bulk garbage were very difficult for staff and for the contractors as well, because again, they represent, how many contractors do we have out in communities? How many communities do we service with their contracts?
Oh, 110 plus, 110 or 15.
But these contractors also service others besides our contracts. So I mean, they're doing bulk garbage for other people that are in our system sector. So it's difficult for us to sort of squeeze them all into that short time period of window here and try to appease everybody from when they want. So we've had some pretty good debates at the committee meeting, and and staff have been working hard on it and trying to come up with some solutions. So even the other one that I think we talked about was split the contract, so that one will be garbage and one will be bulk and do something like that. But again, it's a bit early in the games because a lot of these contracts are still
right.
running, so
Yeah.
but we will find I think a fair solution for to go forward on. And
Yeah.
hopefully there'll be some consultation, so we can.
And no motion tonight. Discussion.
Yeah, so as I say, this discussion continues, there's no motion, you read that, right? So.
And it was really tough too, because I noticed some municipalities that when you drive through there, the bulk garbage is out on the side of the road for like sometimes upwards of 3 weeks at a time, and I can understand it's definitely a poor.
And we find it's moved off when it's not picked up.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, people just leave there. If they leave there all summer, they just don't care.
Yeah.
Right?
Amazing.
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's tough for the communities, it's tough, it's tough on our staff, it's tough for the councils as well, so it's, we're all working hard to try to find a solution that everybody's gonna walk away at the end of the day going, gee, that's okay. I don't think it's ever gonna be 100% right, but if we can get an okay out of it, I'll be happy with that.
And that's our strategy and policy committee from our meeting.
Thank you very much, sir. Governance Committee Deputy Mayor and McDonald, and Chair is, I see the name there. Oh, okay, is that the report? Okay, so Councilor.
Thank you.
Floor.
I will do this on behalf of Mr. McDonald. I think it's gonna be a little difficult to do it from that end. So our governance meeting was held on May 16th. And we'll go right into it. So agenda item 4C1, update of professional development guidelines. A brief notice included in tonight's meeting package. The board developed guidelines for professional development opportunities about 6 years ago, and these guidelines have not been updated since. Following the April board meeting where professional development opportunities were discussed, Councillor Ellsworth requested a review of the criteria used to determine who should travel on behalf of the board. A copy of the email is included in tonight's meeting package. Committee agreed, and following the May meeting, 2 changes were recommended for the guidelines. The first one was opportunities for attendance at professional development events shall be offered to all board members whose attendance record at the regular board meetings and committee meetings, if applicable, is 75% or better for the 12 months prior to the date of travel. And the second one is that those approved to attend professional development events must provide a report to the board regarding the event. Members are reminded the board is responsible for the prudent use of taxpayers' money and should always seek maximum benefit for every dollar spent. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Thank
Seeing
you, Councilor. Bring that forward.
no questions? Seeing no questions, I'll move on to the next item. So agenda item 4C2, board members, professional development, Swan Northern Lights Annual Conference in Yellowknife, June 13th to 16th, 2023. This is an update from last month's meeting where it was reported that the committee had approved the chair and Mr. Drosh to attend this event on behalf of the board. Unfortunately, Mr. Drosh withdrew his interest due to unforeseen circumstances. At the committee meeting, it was noted that 2 other members had expressed interest, but had not been initially considered as they both traveled on behalf of the board in the past. However, the committee noted that the motion adopted in February approved the chair and 2 members to attend this event. Therefore, it was recommended that Kevin McDowell and Maggie Burton attend this event. Even though they had expressed interest initially, neither Mr. McDowell nor Ms. Burton will be attending this event. The chair will attend on behalf of the board. Any questions? Seeing no, I'll move along. Agenda item 4C3, Board's Annual Report 2022. The board's draft annual report for 2022 is included in tonight's meeting package. This is a legislative requirement under the Regional Service Board Act 2012 that states the board must prepare an annual report each year that outlines the activities of the board in the previous year. In addition, this report must be submitted to the minister by June 30th and published on the board's website so that it may be accessed by the public. The report includes the usual items such as governance, revenue and expenditures, lines of business, highlights and accomplishments, and opportunities and challenges ahead. It is a comprehensive examination of the board's activities for 2022. Are there any questions? Seeing none. I'll go right to the motion. So be resolved that the board adopts the annual report for 2022 as tabled.
Moved by Councilor Roos, second by Councilor Ellsworth. All those in favor?
Aye.
Patrick?
Aye.
Take a second to thank Lynn and Craig and all the directors for putting that report together. I know it's a lot of work, and I know that Lynn, you had to, think of that 2 years ago, some code work as well, so, yeah, we're all, are we up to date yet?
I'll be bringing forward hopefully in June.
Awesome. All right, we'll be up to date.
Thank you. Okay, so agenda item 4C4, the joint council's report. A brief notice included in tonight's meeting package. The Southern Shore Joint Council met on Thursday, June 6th, as the May 11th meeting was canceled due to lack of quorum. The Southern Shore Joint Council was pleased to hear of a partnership between MON and MNL on an environmental engineering pilot project. Specific to the region. A meeting was held on April 12th to provide an overview of the project. Updates will be provided to the Joint Council and any interested communities in the coming days. The next Southern Shore Joint Council meeting will be the first in-person meeting since the onset of the pandemic. Group looks forward to meeting in Ferryland on June 15th. The Conception Bay North Joint Council held their last meeting on Thursday, March 30th, as the April meeting was canceled due to lack of quorum. The group launched a website in 2018 entitled choosecbn.ca, but didn't get much headway before the pandemic. They're pleased to report that training sessions have taken place so that each participating municipality can have staff and council members updating content of the website on a regular basis. Talks on second phase marketing aspect will take place at the next meeting. The next meeting of the JCCBN is scheduled to take place virtually on Thursday, May 25th. The Northeast Avalon Joint Council continues to meet on the second Wednesday of each month, with the last meeting being held on April 12th, as a meeting in May was canceled due to a lack of quorum. Planning of a Joint Council Summit for 2023 is ongoing. The Clarenville and the Sounds Joint Council met on Monday, May 1st, for the first time since 2019. The meeting was very positive with an excellent attendance. They elected board director and LSD chair Wesley Drodge as their joint council chair and Mr. Cam Martin of Hodges Cove as their vice chair. They will meet again in person on June 5th. Their name, Clarenville and the Sounds Joint Council, is up for debate and other suggestions are being considered. There has been interest in the St. Mary's Bay and Southwest Avalon area to reestablish a joint council. The board's clerk and board director for the area, Deputy Mayor Kevin McDowell, has begun work on this initiative by creating a contact list and reaching out to all communities in the area. An update will be provided as details unfold. The board clerk has reached out to Mr. Clarence Brown, councillor in Heart's Content, as a new chair for the joint mayors of Trinity Bay de Verde. She hopes to reconnect the group to provide any administrative support that the group may require. Overall, the board's support for joint councils remain positive. And I'll just add, it's nice to see that things are kind of getting back after the pandemic. It's always nice to read since the pandemic, like it's in the background. So, and that's it for me. So thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Any questions on anything there for staff or? Yes?
Okay.
No? Correspondence, there was, the Regional Service Board response to an article in the local shoreline news. Some of us will get it, some of us don't get it, but basically the mayor in Conception Harbor, Mayor Williams, had an article there that he was somewhat upset with the decision of the minister, putting the pause on the regionalization, but we as a board took it as an opportunity for us to get more involved. So we did a response back in the shoreline and published, of course, and thank you to do that and sets our priorities and actually corrected a couple of things there, because one of the comments that the mayor made was that they needed help getting some services together for garbage collection. And Paul Lehman said, "Isn't that what we do?" And so we corrected that mistake there. So hopefully they'll call us someday and we can help them. So that's new business. Yeah, go back on the wrong page. New business. There's a motion by email to be ratified for the supply of one Kenworth tractor E880. It's there in front of you. So notes. Hopefully you had a chance to read through them, but the motion is to Be it resolved that the board purchase one 2023 Kenworth T880 tractor in the amount of $248,658.07, including HST, from Kenworth, Newfoundland and Labrador. So moved. Second by Councillor Ellsworth. Any questions? Purchase of our tractor?
I don't have a question, but I'll just provide some information. Just in case anybody's wondering why, a motion was tabled at finance for the trailer. And you got a motion for you by email for the tractor. It's the trailer, we had to go to 10 for, because you can buy the trailers through Canoe procurement group. Most of you will be familiar with Canoe. They provide municipalities standing offers basically, or some really good pricing. The tractor would be acquired or procured through Canoe. So we got a better price than go to market by acquiring the tractor through Canoe. And because we bought a 2023 model instead of 2024, they took an additional $40,000 off with no impact on the warranty. So I just wanted to clarify why there was it was separated and we didn't just purchase a tractor trailer as one unit.
It is a brand new machine.
Both of them are brand new, yeah.
Any questions? Any questions from the video land? No? All good? Okay. Next we'll have roundtable discussions. We'll start with the mayors from up the shore. So we'll start with who's going first. Who's the parents?
My name is Aidan Costello, town in Ferryland. So I'd like to welcome everybody to our beautiful town. As well, I'd like to thank you all for coming this evening and for coming to our town. So we'd like to see you more often. I think this is a good idea. And so we thank the chairman this year. And you're all welcome. I hope you enjoyed your ride offshore this evening. It was a beautiful evening. And you probably noticed the iceberg as you come into town. He's been a spring savior, that's what. A lot of people, it's a big attraction. You got 3 or 4 restaurants around the area that are booming because of it. We're averaging 200 people a day that come and look at the iceberg. So in all bad, we will be bad. Yeah. We actually, yesterday evening, we had 2 divers from Nova Scotia went out in a dinghy and dove down underneath the iceberg. Take some pictures and so we got people come from, I've talked to people from Ottawa, from Alberta, came here specifically to see the iceberg. That's great. And so it's a big attraction. So yeah, so that's one of many things that are happening in town. So if you're up around summer, we got busy things going on, summer dinner theater, the archaeology dig, lighthouse picnics, we got several hiking trails, so no trouble to spend the day. And if you want to overnight, we got lovely bed and breakfast as well. So you're always welcome, and thanks again.
Thank you. We'll be back. If you keep the iceberg there, we'll be back. Come on. Before we carry on, we didn't do a vote for the last motion on the tractor trailer, so all those in favor of the purchase? Aye. Anybody opposed? All good. All right, thank you. All right, we'll go next.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the invite this evening on Jack Hauler from the town of Meadows, Kerry. I'm really new to council politics and delighted to come here this evening to attend this meeting and look forward to working with the board in the future. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for inviting us on this way.
Thank you for the invite. I'm Clarence Malloy from town of Portugal Cove South. So I guess you're familiar with offshore. We have Staking Point in our areas is a big attraction there. We have the visitor center there, and we have Cape Race, the lighthouse, and we have in the summertime that's there for the Titanic, where they receive the distress signal. So we get a lot of tours, and the road is good. It's partly dirt road, but it's a good dirt road to Cape. So thanks again for the invite, and I'm a long-time volunteer with the town of Portugal Cove South.
That's what makes community safe.
Yeah.
That's run over, long term, so. That's real. Thanks for, no, we appreciate you guys taking this in up there. We'll run the further meetings around the eastern region, because it's more to it than the northeast Avalon. So we started out in Claremont, we've been to the Roberts,
Here.
yeah.
That's it, here.
Yeah, this year, so we're trying to get it all around a little bit more. Think some of the folks who give up their time for their municipality, so. I don't know, there's anybody else back there, I know there's a house there.
I'm very fine. Yeah.
Yes, okay, I recognize you. And fun fact about, my private life, we actually did a dossier for the state and point, we did the bid for the, get the UNESCO designation.
Oh, yeah,
That was superior back in with Waterworks Communications with my property concerns. But yeah, we did the dossier with I can't remember the name of the group now, there was a bunch of we did the UNESCO bid for, yeah, so they got it, which is good. I guess we'll go around the table here and I'll start with Ian. I guess you can hear us.
I can hear you. Nothing from me besides wishing folks there well and have a safe drive back. Thank you.
Your Lord of Worship and your green. You trying to mic.
Yeah, it's one more time. Just nothing from me. Just wanted my regrets for not being able to get there in person. My schedule just didn't work for me today because I would have wanted to be up earlier anyway. So I could have went to Kavanagh's for fish and chips. But it's a beautiful place. Hope everybody has a good time and safe travels.
Thank you. Kevin, I don't know if you're able to communicate there.
I will give it a stab. Thanks very much, Councillor Bruce, for filling in for me. We're just going to keep working on the joint council. Probably won't get anything done this, for next month or so, but certainly September, October, we're going to get a joint councils, maybe 2 going, and just with Holly and Lynn's help, we'll make it happen. Thanks very much.
Thank you, sir. The fairway up and over into the room. I can barely see it. Yeah, I think you might be frozen, Wes. Or can you hear us? No, it's back, okay. You hear anything to add here, Wes? Mike?
Okay, I got it. Okay. The only comment that I have is that our joint council has, I think, started to have some momentum, and hopefully we can increase that and share and dialogue and maybe contribute to the overall operations.
Awesome. Good news. Christy?
Hi, everybody. So I'm going to take the opportunity to remind everyone that this is HHW season. So on June 3rd and June 17th, there will be HHWs. I encourage you to review the Eastern Regional Service Board website to see the one closest to you. But I did also want to take the opportunity to say that the HHW, the mobile events do provide a one-stop for multiple materials, but there are a number of other materials that are available for PR programs or recycling or proper disposal throughout the year. For instance, in Ferryland and Cape Royal at D1 Automotive, and I didn't call them before I said this, so I hope it's okay. They participate in the used oil program. So anytime that they are open, you are able to drop off used oils, filters, plastic containers, antifreeze, glycols, and aerosol containers, and have them properly disposed of. So, and similarly, there's household hazardous waste for paint programs that include paint, primers, varnishes, driveway sealers. It's that time of year. I don't have a driveway, but my mom tells me I should. Aerosols, that sort of thing. So there are regular programs for those as well. But the household hazardous waste events, of course, are a one-stop shop for anything that's not covered under those. My advertising's over.
That's good. You did a good job. You did a good job for most of it, because we couldn't hear all of it. But we got the gist. Mark.
I'll just put in the plug for these Coast Trails, this Saturday in Footscove. They're having the Trail Raiser fundraiser, which is their biggest fundraiser of the year. So if anybody's interested in coming down for some events or come down for a hike on Saturday, you can go to the East Coast Trail website and register.
Do you have a comedy show?
Right, coming up, September 16th. I'll pack on it tomorrow.
All right. That'd be an extra commercial. Hilda,
How's good news?
did you guys get some money? Did I see something in the news? $1.5 million for water and sewer?
3.5.
3.5.
Oh.
Pretty good.
Yeah, we got been doing well.
That's good. Good news.
Few of the miles and miles of sewer and water replaced.
You'll get there. You'll get there. Gil,
No, nothing from me tonight.
Glenn.
I didn't have anything, but I may as well say something, I suppose. I represent the Section B North, and I'm from the beautiful town of Victoria. We don't have any icebergs, but I'd love to have that one out there if we had some salt water to put it in, but we do have a beautiful heritage park over there, and we were home to the only prisoner of war camp who was ever constructed in the province. So we have a replica of that there. And you didn't know, but I know that. But we do, and there were never any prisoners there. But just a little, I guess, actually, because that prisoner of war camp was built and never opened, it was a contributing factor that the United States, I'm sorry, not a contributing factor, but the fact that it didn't open is one of the reasons why the United States entered the war, because they didn't want any prisoners of war on the land soil, because as you know, they had 3 or 4 bases here, right? So that was one of the conditions. We also had the first long distance telephone service in the province from the second oldest power plant in Victoria to United Towns Electric Office in Bear Arch. Now that's not verified, but we'll let it spread it around anyway.
We wasn't seeing the police were.
We're working on that. But yeah, so we're getting ready for the summer, hopefully we get a lot of tourists around. And as we mentioned in the joint council report, we did launch our around the bay .ca or whatever it's called website. We probably did a lot of training on that, and credit to Steve did a great job of producing that for us 2 years ago. And I would recommend that to any area related, because it certainly is. It's a beautiful site. So with that, I think I'm going to shut up.
And then the best ice cream cones.
Oh, we do have the biggest scoop in the bay at the
So there's your iceberg.
Yes, your ice cream.
Oh, just check.
As big as one.
Just empty your iceberg, your ice cube trays in the pond, say we got 12 icebergs.
Great.
No, not for me. I just said it was a really nice night to drive home. Joel and
Great.
You guys got some big stuff going on. Oh, yes, lots of stuff. This is our 50th anniversary as an incorporated municipality. We've got a ton of stuff on the go. Gosh, from I believe the 1st of June right up until the 31st of December, we got a ton of events. So if you're ever so inclined to come out our way, we got just a couple of events. The snowbirds are coming to town, I believe, on the 24th of June. Pretty sure that's when they're coming. And of course, we got our annual Killigrew Soiree and a big celebration. I believe it's August. And I hold the date is the actual date of the, I guess, our birthday for the town. I believe sometimes early August, I'm not too sure, but we got a big celebration for that, and looking forward to lots of tourists coming in and biking our trails. We got some of the best trails in the town, and of course, unfortunately, with summer and the short construction season, we got lots of construction on the go as well. So we do have some rerouting that you got to take in CBS, but we look forward to to anyone who comes into town. And of course, I believe we are hosting the next.
I'll be here next week.
Yeah, we're hosting the next meeting in June, so I look forward to welcoming everyone into the beautiful town of Conception Bay Center.
After Glenn, I got one. Paradise to follow.
Your turn next meeting.
Chris, pressure's on.
Mr. Eldred.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, so I echo your comments from earlier. Nathan, thanks for the invite up and organizing the meal. You're right, getting it around the community is very important. And I'd like to thank the mayors for joining us for supper because while the work at this table is very important, work at the kitchen table is also very important to build relationships, connect, and understand the work that we're doing on a broader scope now that impacts the community. So well done. Look forward to more of these.
Thank you, sir. Bill, not much to report. I mean, we're busy in the month of June. We're getting ready for our city days in July and we turn every road that we can find. Seems to be that way, but that's everything else. We're more as time goes on. And thank you for remembering the call.
Larry. Mr. FCM.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Again, I'd like to echo what others have commented on here, of course, this evening. That is the invite from those from the Southern Shore. It's great to see you folks. It's great to be out here for sure. In terms of Paradise, we are in the midst, just the beginning actually, of some consultations on the Paradise Park master plan. That's a fairly big open space and some treed area and some ponds in the middle of Paradise. We are in the final stretch of our 5-year strategic plan. Of course, as you know, we were one of the towns selected for the speed radar pilot, so we're in the midst of getting that off the ground. Our MEOs are actually on bike patrol back again now, which is great. The Lift Station 10 project is progressing well. Our green goal was recently launched from a recycling perspective, and had a successful municipal awareness program. And I will say from an FCN perspective that for any folks around the table or folks from the Southern Shore, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any ideas or would like to discuss things that you feel should be brought forward to the FCN table, given to do so.
Thank you, the FCM, for one second. There's all kinds of opportunities for funding and stuff. This, I don't, around, anyone else on the FCM? A lot of people attend the FCM meetings. But
yes,
there's huge funding opportunities. We in Newfoundland tend to not take advantage of too much, but hopefully you'll shed some light on that for some of the smaller municipalities.
Sort of get some information.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, fellow board members, for joining us here in our beautiful arts centre in Ferryland tonight. You're remiss if I didn't mention my fellow colleagues here from Southern Shore. Looking forward to seeing you all at our joint council meeting at the Ferryland Town Office on June the 15th at 7 o'clock. Hopefully you can get some of your other council members to attend as well. Be a great informative session. We get a good crowd out and have a good discussion. On the trail raiser, we're going to have our own in Ferryland. It's not going to be this Saturday, it's going to be next Saturday because we have our community cleanup coming up this weekend. So we're going to raise funds for the East Coast Trail next weekend. So we're looking forward to that. Inviting everyone out in the area, of course. Thanks to staff as always for their great work and assistance and guidance to all of our municipalities. I know they're relied on very heavily, so it's very appreciated. So that's all I got for tonight. Thank you.
Well, I always got a few words, yeah. First off, I'll start off by saying, I guess reiterating what Craig and everybody else has said. I enjoyed the drive up this evening. It was beautiful. But for me, there was an added layer because in the mid-90s, I actually taught business courses at Regina Monday, PN campus in beautiful town when it was Cappy, and I taught there for 4.5 years while that campus was open. So it's a really good memories of coming back forth and short. I had a couple of bad ones too in midwinter and middle of the snowstorm and your winkers are flying off. But the cloud driver stopped and helped me. So that just shows again the helpful and generous spirit of the people on the shore. So yeah, thanks. It was nice to come back and relive those memories and nice to meet everyone as well. To get back to the work of it all, I'm always pushing for recycling, reusing, reducing. And tonight I just want to remind everybody that if you have renovation materials, A lot of people take the old stuff that's left over and they'll toss it out for bulk waste or take it to the RDO or one of our sites. If it's good material that can be reused, I'm not talking little scraps of wood, but it's big wood or light fixtures or things like that, that somebody can use. The Habitat for Humanity has a restore in Kinmont Road in St. John's, and they're always looking for good materials there. It's a great program. Also, there's Free Cycle, of course, or loads of other sites, I believe, online as well. But just wanted to throw that in there rather than seeing that material going to landfill. It could be reused and somebody else will greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. This, I think, one of the projects we talked to Wesley about, hopefully on a day that we can do some recycling and reusing and repurposing some stuff. So once your joint council gets up and running a little bit better, West, we can work on that, do a pilot project and get it underway. Holly. We need the joint council.
Brad calls me the queen all the time, I just wanted to say that. You all know Mr. Charles Bone with the MMSB. He's actually watching us on YouTube this evening. Welcome, Charles. I've got an email from him earlier saying that he's going to provide an update to me via email, and I will distribute it to everyone here because, of course, he's not able to do it in person this evening. So that's it for me.
Sure. All right, well, that's it for all of us. I got one thing I just wanted to, it came to my attention to Lynn and Christy today was a tweet sent out by when we're fired.
Dartmouth Territory Fire.
Territory Fire. Talking about mandatory property registration. And I thought it was very timely, and I actually sent an email to the minister today to remind them that it's on our agenda. With all the forest fires happening over Nova Scotia and Alberta and all the other places, Niagara's here in Central, mandatory property registration. If you've got a summer home, you've got a cabin, or you've got a hunting shack somewhere in the woods, and nobody knows about it and burns to the ground, it's gonna be hard to get anything in the way of compensation for it. Some of these things are registered, some of them are not. Or if you've got a property in a small community or a large city like Halifax, and you lose your property, if it's not registered, it's gonna be very difficult to figure out who owns that property. So I did message after I got that, I did email the minister again saying, reminding them that we had asked for progress or some movement on mandatory property registration. I don't know, we're the only province left in the country, is my understanding, that doesn't have it. And again,
I'd like to add to that we service the Ocean Pond area.
Yeah.
And there's no registration there, and the fire chief has said a dozen times to me, you know, how do we know where to go, who's where, and what's what? So it's very important for not just the whole province, but for us communities who are looking after these areas.
And you have contracts with them, and then again, like I said, if cat burns to the ground, and nobody knows who owns it's gonna be off there.
We don't know which direction to go to find it,
So
basically.
we will keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and I guess eventually they'll open drives to it, but municipal assessment agency and regional service boards, and I would assume county lands will all be involved, but again, you know, with that many late hands, many hands make quick work.
Many hands.
Yeah, so, you know. Anyway, with that, I think I got everybody. Did I miss anybody? No, I'll leave a little bit of daylight left so we get some pictures of ice for we all head home. So with that, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Thank you very much, folks. Have a good evening. Thank you, you too. Good night, Carol. Good night.